Hey guys, today we have Amar Falak on our podcast. He has founded a marketing agency. Sorry. So he started in 2016. Let's hear from him. How does he feel right now after working for, I guess, 7 years? 7 to 10 years.
Close to 7 years now.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy journey. When we started off the digital marketing agency, we are a 360-degree digital marketing agency. From SEO to website building, to social media handling, advertisements, we cover everything. So yeah, it's been a crazy journey because 2016 was the time when the geo revolution also happened.
Right.
So just I guess the right time at the right place kind of a situation, and from there on we've just grown from strength to strength.
Okay. So in 2016, there was a technology transition, and of course there was design transition going on, right? Everyone was learning about marketing and design and how to apply them into the actual case studies, like building a social media manager or building a social media which has influenced a lot of people, right? So according to me, I think marketing agency is a lot more important to grab the exact customer your client wants, right? So how did you start it? How did you pitch your clients about that? How did you show the value of your marketing agency to everyone, right? From your perspective.
Yeah, so these are all technical jargons. Usually when you approach to a business, the only thing that they care about is ROIs.
Okay.
How much are we spending and how much are we going to get at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year?
Right.
That's how they go, and especially when it comes to Indian businesses,
right?
They put value at the top of things, and from there on, everything trickles down.
Yes.
So closing the first 10 customers was the most difficult part, especially when you're in India.
Right.
But that's what we can do. Like if you focus on values, customers. Customer value and what you can bring to their businesses, and then they are very comfortable with you.
Okay.
Then they are very adjusted towards new ideas in terms of design or in terms of anything extravagant that you want to do, brand awareness, anything. So you can start off, like especially for small businesses, you can start off on ROI keeping as your nucleus. You can go from there.
Okay. And one more question is, why marketing agency?
Yeah, so it's a little weird, but yeah, I when I was doing my MBA between 2013 to 15, that time digital marketing was not a bit of like a big concept or anything, but I was offered an internship in Pune.
Right.
So I went and worked for a guy called Neil Sequeira.
Oh.
He was an MBA from Wales, and he started a digital marketing agency in Pune.
Right.
He's like one of the really early guys who got into this, because I think when this whole revolution happened, it was in 2009, 2010 kind of, and it took to get started in 2013. That too in Pune was a bold step, but he went for it, and so I was again lucky to be a part of his team initially, and once I got in. That was the first time I got to know about marketing, about digital marketing actually, because what marketing I was studying during my MBA was 4 Ps and those kind of things. They're mostly traditional kind of things. And when I actually saw, the reality was way different, what people are actually doing. And his clientele was mostly European and American companies.
Right.
So how they were doing things and what sophistication he was bringing into the marketing, and so I was very lucky to be working for him in the initial years. That's where I got interested in digital marketing, and then eventually after a couple of jobs, I don't know, something just told me that I can take a leap and see if this works out, and that's when I started the marketing agency.
Right. So after a long journey, right, with your marketing agency, how many people do you have right now in your company, and how does the work-life balance do you maintain in your marketing agency? Because as a founder, I think it's very hard to keep up things with people and be at the point when you explain something to someone, and it's very important that you should be able to prove things to someone so that everyone grabs your attention and you are the right person to have your job. So
yeah, that's very important. So I'm sorry. The first one was how many people you have working
Yeah.
there. So we have a small team of 8 people right now. It is fluctuating from time to time. We're currently hiring for a data analyst also, if anyone's interested. So yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah.
So it depends. I would have, like, had we had this conversation in 2019 or pre-COVID, the answer would have been pretty standard on in terms of how do you motivate you guys and stuff like that. But we know COVID happened,
Right.
and once that stuck, so work from home was a new norm, and the culture also changed a lot.
Right.
So you had to make sure that the guys that you are working for, the guys who are working for you, need to see the goals of the organization as their own.
Right.
If they believe that they are making a dent in the world, if they believe that my social media manager believes that the campaign that we are currently running is going to get ROI for a company who's going to stay in business for the next 2 years despite facing challenges in COVID. So that kind of, has an effect on you.
Right.
So I like to believe in empowering people. I don't like to. My leadership style is not centralized.
Right.
That I tell, obviously there has to be some sort of structure. So there has to be more accountability towards me. When the team screws up, it's not. I don't put the team in front of the client and say, start explaining yourself. It's me. It's me who have to face the client, and whatever happens there, I have to take the heat for that. But when I've seen that when people are empowered and when they believe that they are making a difference directly, they start to own the company themselves. And that's how I believe I am trying to get everyone to one focal point where we focus on one thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so one more tip for everyone, I would say. Like product designers and visual communication designers, right? Everyone is creating designs for the market, right? For the people. So can you give a tip for designers as well as engineers that how they can market themselves into the market, and maybe they can place themselves into a position in the market where they think, okay, this is a good start for them, and they can increase their customer or they can increase their client from.
So I think a good tip would be to keep your egos aside. I'll be very honest, because what happens, even with me as a marketing guy in digital marketing, you are always working for a client.
Exactly.
So you are providing a service basically. And even if you're in a product, then also there are different stakeholders that are involved.
Yes, definitely.
So if you're designing a box for a shoe, supposedly for a Nike, so you are trying to appeal to a customer.
Yes.
So you need to keep that into account. You cannot say that that guy doesn't know what he wants to buy. I know that sort of concept goes around Steve Jobs, that giving people, they don't even know what they want, but that takes an enormous amount of understanding of the market, of user behavior, user analysis. You cannot just be a 20-year-old kid deciding that, oh, that's what I read about Steve Jobs, or that's what I'm inspired about him, and just want to go down that path.
Right.
You cannot have that. You need to have enormous experience in terms of understanding how people function.
Okay.
And when you're doing it for a client, when you're doing it for your customers, or for anyone, any sort of stakeholders, that's the second part. Is there. What do you want to communicate through your design?
Okay.
It cannot be that I've made it, now you figure it out.
Yeah, it shouldn't be fancy.
It shouldn't be like that. No, I don't mind fancy.
Okay.
See, I'm not saying it shouldn't be fancy, it shouldn't be done this way, it shouldn't be done that way. It depends on how you want your customers to perceive you. How you want the client's design to go out.
Okay.
Right. That's very important. That's where I say that a lot of designers who have experience, or newbies also, they have that bit of ego there, and it has to be there. Yes. I'm not saying it's a very fine line between self-confidence and ego.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it's very difficult to identify those things. But when you're giving your best to someone else, that's when you have to understand that their needs have to be aligned with yours.
Okay.
That the communication has to be very strong there, and that's the tip that I would like to give to anyone who's pursuing design, marketing, even engineering, anything. We are creating things for people. Understand those people.
Right.
Be it a client, be it a consumer directly, be it your boss, be it anyone.
Okay. And one more question is like, what aspect in you is better, marketing or business, or like?
I think that's a tricky one, but yeah, I think marketing is something both. I wouldn't say that I'm like born marketer or born into business. I had to adapt to situations very quickly. Like when I started off, I was just 22.
Okay.
And so a bit naive also, honestly, because I knew the marketing side of things, and that's the reason I thought, oh, maybe I have that skill, so let's just jump into it.
Right.
And I got to know that no, the skills that I have is close to 50-60%, but I need to learn a lot more, which was getting covered by my bosses earlier, which you wouldn't realize.
Yes.
But when you are left out there all alone, you have to figure that out. And the same goes for business.
Right.
So I was good with marketing, but now how am I going to get clients?
Yes.
That's very important to understand. So I wouldn't say I wouldn't know which one is better at the moment. It might sound diplomatic, but yeah, that's how it is at the moment.
Okay, I think you're pretty much clear when you want to sell someone. When I look at you, like it's been like 3 to 2 months I know him. So when I see this guy, it's like more how he positions himself to others. And I think that matters for everyone, right? Whenever you tell something to someone, it should be a two-way conversation, right?
Yes.
The person should perceive what you're saying, and you should also know that, okay, that person is saying the right thing.
Exactly.
So I think coming to the question again, like why do you think like market and business goes hand in hand, right? Why not design and market goes in hand in hand? And I of course like agree that of course all these aspects as a market, I think owning a marketing agency, you know that okay, when you want to hire someone, okay, so let's say you want to hire a data analyst, and maybe few months later you want to hire a videographer, right? How do you decide, okay, this is the necessary part in the project, and I need someone to take care of about that aspect? So how do you like analyze the things where you put yourself ki, okay, we have to hire someone good and who is doing a good job in video creation, or maybe data analyst. So how do you organize things when it comes to hiring and planning कि आज कौन सा documentation होना चाहिए, या फिर maybe the planning phase I want to ask more about?
Yeah, so for hiring, it's really simple. You understand what the requirement is of the client. Can the current team or the current capacity can it handle it? If the answer is no, you go and look to hire someone. Okay, but so, let's say in a marketing agency, you have 2 clients working on, right? Maybe there is Nike and Adidas. Right. Those 2 clients are have the same product, mostly have the same product, but you need different teams to handle both the projects, right? Not necessarily. Okay. Not necessarily, because it again depends on who's doing what. When you have experienced guys who have already been through these kind of situations before, so they handle these things a lot better and in a lot of professional manner. So you cannot send the email that you're supposed to Nike, that email that was supposed to send out to be Nike, you can't send it to Adidas, and vice versa. You cannot send a design which was supposed to be going to Adidas goes to Nike, and those kind of goof-ups are not acceptable. And mostly with an experienced team, the guys who have been in that situation, I'm not saying that these things are not going to happen. These things are going to happen, but they happen in the earlier stages of your career. Okay. So we have like a small team, but I have made sure that we've got experienced guys. Okay. Because like you said, client is very important, and how you position yourself in front of the client is very important. These kind of goof-ups can get you into it's not going to look good. Okay. And coming to the social media thing, right? Now everyone is trying to become an influencer, or trying to show off their skills, or like I agree that they are having good skills and they should market themselves into the social media. But how do you perceive things when it comes to social media or social media marketing, right? How do you organize things when a client comes to you and says ki, okay, we need a designer and we need you to market ourselves in the market? Yeah.
So how plan?
Yeah. So as of today, what I see is there are three aspects to social media. One is the user, the consumer, who's consuming the content. There are influencers that
Yes.
you mentioned, and there are brands.
Yes.
Right. What mistakes normally brands do, because I've worked very closely with a lot of them, is the communication is not two-way.
Okay.
Okay, what they do is, like you just said, if we want to design something, let's get a designer, let's get a social media executive, and let's get started. And you get started with that. That's the right thing to do as well. But when you're going into it, you have to ensure that there's two-way communication.
Okay.
You're communicating something, anything. Be it your product, be it your brand, be it your values, be it running a contest, quiz, anything. Then you have to ensure that people come to you and people talk.
Exactly.
There are few brands who are doing it really well, exceptionally well, and there are, and I think that's the top 1 to 5%.
Can you give some examples, like where?
Not at the top of my head right now, but what I'm trying to say is, like, your what I would say 90% of businesses are doing right now is whatever products they have, they just showcase it.
Okay.
Right. So I you spoke about examples, so I just remembered one. I saw, so Go Mechanic is an Indian startup.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been following them really closely because one of their competitors also, they've worked for them.
Okay.
I'm not going to name it.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've been following them, and I saw recently a post, a YouTube story on Go Mechanic. There was this guy who was explaining Audi, which was in the police impound lot.
Yes.
And it was Virat Kohli's.
Okay.
Yeah, and how it got there.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically in just a small reel, he said that, oh yeah, see, he purchased it and then he sold it. Obviously, he sold it, yeah. No reason, it's Virat Kohli. So he sold it, and the guy who sold it to ran some scam or something, and then he had to flee the country. So the police took the car. So it's just a car, but now they have a story behind it, and it's just communicated very in a very good way on social media, which is very catchy. You got Virat Kohli, you got a scam, you got an Audi. What more do you need? So it's. You might think, oh, Go Mechanic is about servicing and those kind of things. What sort of content are we supposed to create out of that? And then they come up with something like this. And then, of course, there was, what do you think about this story? And all, comment and stuff like that. So you're trying to be interactive. Like, I've seen a lot of YouTubers also, not in terms of brands and all, but I've seen a lot of YouTubers who are very successful because they talk about topics which really resonate to people.
Yes.
And but you might say that brands don't want to do that. Brands want to stick with. So if I'm a manufacturer I'm a mic manufacturer, how can I get into things? But see, that's how Go Mechanic did it with a car connected. It's not their car. It's not the car that came to their service. Nothing. It's just they just related the the service that they are providing to what they could create as a content.
Right.
So that's something that you can do. Be very innovative on social media. That's what's appreciated, because you open your social media, be it Instagram, be it YouTube or anything. If you have the same kind of content that others have, it's not going to excite people. They don't. And people take those likes and subscribes very seriously.
Okay.
You can see any video on YouTube right now. There'll be a ton of likes, but the subscribers, the guys don't get a lot of subscriptions, and they keep asking, oh, 70% of you have not subscribed, 90% of you have not subscribed. Please subscribe.
Yeah.
So people feel valued when they do that. Be it on Twitter also. There are a lot of political discussions going on, sports discussions going on.
Right.
They feel empowered, and that's what you have to do on social media as a brand.
Okay.
You have to keep that two-way communication going. You have to keep that open. You can run certain contests, certain quizzes, like RCB. I follow RCB on Twitter.
Okay.
So they do run it before the IPL or something, where they give away T-shirts and stuff. What are they doing? They are just hyping around the team just before the season comes up.
Right.
So yeah.
So
like that.
talking about the experience. So we have an audience who is like user experience designers, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to marketing yourself or advertising something, right? How do you feel the experience is, like, what value does the experience provide to the person, right? So I'll give you an example. In COVID, there were there were brands like Unicards, if you have heard about.
No, I'm sorry.
So there are cards like Slice.
Right, yeah,
Slice, Unicard.
Oh yeah, Unicard also. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a black kind of card.
Yeah.
So how they had this advertisement was they sell their cards when someone registers into their app. Along with that, they give a mask at that time or in the period of COVID was necessary, right? So they gave mask and it had a logo of Unicard.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of this unique strategies which these big companies come up with, and how do you think they think of this kind of crazy ideas, right? Because it's very easy that everyone is wearing a different mask in the market, but if you see someone with Unicard's mask, it feels like iske paas Unicard hai. Right, it gives the social proof to everyone ki someone owns this brand or someone is using this brand. And as Red Bull also did that, right? They somewhere in bins they filled all the empty cans to show that many of the people are drinking Red Bull. So what do you think about those marketing strategies?
First of all, I don't think Unicard is sending out those masks so that people can see that people are using Unicard. That doesn't go right. I feel so. What happens is you subconsciously just see that name. It's just entered into your subconscious. So when something else comes up, when they put out an ad on Facebook or anything, you are recognized with that brand. So there's no stranger feeling to it. So that is also one of the things that people use. Yeah, I've seen Red Bull also do some innovative marketing things, and that's how you have to stand out because you are doing what you must have seen cred ads.
Oh, right.
It's so unique.
Yes.
They don't even talk. It's like about 2 or 3 seconds where they talk about paying your credit card bills on credit. Yeah. And other than that, it's just hilarious. And people are looking forward to those ads.
Yes.
You don't know who's going to come out. Rahul Dravid has come out. Anil Kumble has come out. They've got a rejected this thing where they didn't. There's a video on YouTube. You must check it out. And guys, you should also check it out. Where they've said, where they've compiled all the rejected ones that they didn't launch. And that has got amazing views. Even I saw it because the second I was like, I'm going to see this. And they understand what their target audience is. Right? If you talk to a Gen Z kid today about Govinda, he's not going to find that relevant. But when you talk to someone who grew up in the 90s, millennial kid like I am, you feel a very nostalgic feeling. That's when you understand who you are targeting. Rahul Dravid. These are the guys who we've grown up watching on televisions. Right, so you have to understand who you are targeting also. It just cannot just go out of context that we'll just run a marketing campaign which resonates nothing with our business or business plan or anything. So that's where you have to start with the ground level. So before getting into UI, before getting into UX, you need to identify what your brand's personality is going to be like. Once you identify that, things become easier. Then you have colors who can tell you which color resonates with what, like green resonates with eco-friendly. And so if you have an eco-friendly company, you can easily use green and then patch it up very quickly. And these are, it's not something someone has just written in books. It's all subconscious. Subconscious. Every time there's a danger sign, it's red. You want people to stop, it's red. So it's been drilled into our subconscious like that.
I think that is the contrast of colors which people use to grab the attention.
Exactly. I'm not a design expert, but this is what it's scientifically done. So when you decide what your brand personality is going to be look like, then you decide your colors, and then you decide your target audience, and when these all things come together in a marketing meeting or in a UI UX design, like what sort of design should we put out for the website? You don't need to ensure that everyone resonates with it. You have to make sure that your target audience resonates with it. They understand. They feel that you trigger something in them. Like cred ads are triggering nostalgia. For us. Some people might not understand. It's like, what's going on? So that's what you can do. Like they know who are. I'm sure they must have done who's using credit cards.
Yes, yes.
Maximum
Yeah.
number of age groups, and that's how they go on. So slice also. You can
Yeah.
see those ads are very unique.
Mm.
I'm talking about the television ads.
Yes.
Very expensive, but yeah, very unique.
Mm.
And they're not. Some might think that, oh God, these guys are wasting money running television ads because they are very expensive and they're not even communicating about their products. That creates curiosity. What is this about? Let me Google it.
Yes, I think, yeah.
And that's when you
I'm getting-
start getting into it. Because what I have understood in sales or in marketing or running advertisements, you don't have to tell everything and ensure that, oh, okay, I've communicated this, now I want this customer to sign up.
Right.
You don't want to do that. You just want to give a snippet so that he's more curious to do something else. Like we run an ad, put it on Google. You just write enough
Yes.
that they're curious to go to the landing page. The ad's job is just to get people to the landing page, not to convert. The landing page job is to communicate.
Convert.
So the form's job is to convert. So and then the conversion is brought home by the sales team.
Yes.
Who know what to talk because they know where in the buyer cycle they are entering into.
Okay.
So it has to be done in a very systematic manner. So you might have unique ways of approaching these things. Like UI UX designers are very skilled and very talented. I've seen certain websites that really blew my mind away.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you have to ensure people are expecting certain things from a website in terms of the functionality base.
Yes.
You cannot change that.
Yes, definitely.
You cannot say that, oh, I'm not going to take a form today, I'm just going to find a unique way of getting your information.
Right.
That's not going to resonate well with people.
Yes, yes, definitely. So coming to the brands, like how do you think like brands like Nike, Adidas? So recently coming back, I think Mahindra changed their logo, right? And
Right, yeah.
and they
the automobile one.
yeah, automobile one, and they changed the logo from Mahindra to logo like M,
Yeah.
which resonates M, but they have written down that sports utility vehicle, right? They haven't used the sentence yet in the market,
I
but
didn't know about that. So,
but yeah, once they came up with this brand new logo, they every time when you go to the showroom, there in the corner they have written now that sports utility vehicle.
Okay.
And it is something new, right?
Yeah.
So when I think of Mahindra in 2001 or 2005,
Yes.
it's totally different vehicle.
Yes.
It feels like okay, kya dabba hai?
Yeah.
But now, when it comes to Scorpio or any new car they launch, the values are so straightforward that okay, if you are a guy who goes off-roading, then I'll think okay, sports utility vehicle is Mahindra, and you resonate the vehicle with your values, right?
Exactly.
And how do you think like these brands are coming up with unique sentences or unique words which help them to, like I might say it can be an SEO, right? Search engine optimization maybe, or maybe a word which is used in the marketing like industry, or I don't know completely how they come up with this crazy ideas, but I think as a designer I noticed this change.
Yeah.
And it has like a huge impact on my mind that okay, Mahindra was this, but now they are at the top. They have added sports utility.
No, yeah. This is a common mistake people make because it's the perceptions. You might think Mahindra was not successful and suddenly
it's successful. It's successful.
Yeah, but earlier also they had particular vehicles that serve particular purposes. Like you talk about Tata Motors also.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have gone into the rural India. They have trucks and Ashok Leyland. You can take these brands. They are not fancy like Lamborghini and all, but they are doing really well.
Yes.
Okay, in terms of numbers and stuff. So that's how. But people think of sports cars as cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's first of all that's your perception, and that's common with across people. Like people like to resonate with cool stuff.
Yes.
So you suddenly think, oh, now this is successful. Earlier they were not, but yeah. So that I don't know what the history of Mahindra is in terms of the financial balance sheets and stuff. But yeah, that's something that you can look into. But what I would say is they have suddenly changed their branding because they've suddenly started pushing new products. So earlier they were pushing Mahindra, Bolero and those kind of
vehicles.
Yeah, vehicles which were good for the rural India, and they were the ones who were the highest purchase, high ticket.
Yeah, now also most of the people.
Yeah, so
like my father also is like, okay, kuch nahi, Mahindra bike karte hain na, acha hai.
Exactly. So you have to understand your target audience. Now they understand that, with XUV doing so well, and then they've got new models of XUV 300 and 500 and 500 was 700. So they know that who's going to be the consumer now. It's not going to be your father. It's going to be you. It's going to be your generation, and you have to find that cool. And that's how the logo changes. That's how the branding changes. That's how the communication changes. You guys are into sports vehicles, so they stop making those vehicles. And I'm pretty sure they are making those vehicles for rural thing as well, like rural areas as well. But you have to understand what your target audience is. Same goes with Tata Motors.
Yes.
They are like the eighth in the world currently, and you might think, oh, I don't know.
They bought Range Rover, no? They bought Jaguar also.
Jaguar as well.
So their balance sheet is like on the next level, I think.
So that's what they're doing. They're not buying Jaguar and then converting it into Tata Motors. Tata Motors goes and they have a different target audience. Jaguar has a different target audience. Range Rover has a different target audience. You can't merge them. I'm pretty sure they have 3 different CEOs also, 3 different branches. Everything is worked in a different way. When they came out with Tata Nano also, they were trying to serve a specific audience. People have called it several names, but they did sell vehicles.
Yes.
And
I guess Indica also, the
Indica went really well.
Yeah, and I think one more brand is Toyota, which played a good game when selling Innova, right? When they sold Innova. It's like everyone was going crazy कि इतने पैसे कम में Innova कैसे आ सकता है? And this huge car, and everyone, like at that time, everyone was in a joint family, I think. So that car was more beneficial to them, and they sold it in the right way.
Yeah,
in the right.
Indian families still are I don't know what the average is. Again, we'll do some research on that. But usually there are, like, Ertiga is also doing really well.
Yes.
Maruti Suzuki's Ertiga. But when Innova came in, there was nothing that catered to that 8-seater or 7-seater kind of thing. And there were other products that came before that, but they didn't work.
Yes.
Because this gave the luxury as well as so you have to understand what you're doing. Toyota also came up with a lot of models in India that did not work. Corolla and those kind of things, which have done really well globally.
Yes.
But they didn't work a lot. They didn't work a lot in the Indian market because you have to understand certain things. Innova obviously is doing really well, but you try to launch it in another country with different demographics. Again, it becomes challenging because Indian roads, Maruti Suzuki, why are they the most successful?
Maintenance.
Yeah, it's about the maintenance. It's about giving value.
Yes.
It's about giving value. It's about for the Indian roads. Anyone you ask, like anyone who's got a car or something, they'll just, the top of the head, they'll say, oh, Indian roads, get a Maruti Suzuki.
Yes.
For Indian roads, get a Maruti Suzuki. And that's what they also came up with Ertiga, and Ertiga is also good. It's successful.
Yes.
Yeah, it's half the price from an Innova, I suppose. And they are also successful because there is room for a lot of people who cannot buy a 20 lakh vehicle.
Yes, definitely.
So there is room for that. But
and I think the value of the vehicle is also going down daily because there is an innovation on daily basis on the vehicle.
But depreciation is also there. So
yes.
That is also.
Yeah. So one more thing is like coming to the social media thing. So how do you think Instagram is different than Facebook? And like when you add your marketing campaigns over there, what difference do you think, like what difference do you experience in these two different social medias?
So first of all, the obvious difference is the target audience there. The Instagram has a much younger target pool, and Facebook is what my parents are still using.
Yes,
right?
yes,
they have So it depends. It becomes the place where you are hanging out. Yeah, suddenly, and these guys are hanging out there, and the younger kids are hanging out here. So from a marketing point of view, again, you have to understand where you want to launch which platform.
So let's take you want to market a school,
Right.
you'll go to Facebook, I think, because the parents are there.
Depends again for
Okay.
different grades.
Okay.
So 10th standard student, this kid would parent would be somewhere else and someone else. So, but again, there's a stark difference between organically marketing certain things and closing it with advertisements.
Okay.
So let me give you an example. Now with artificial intelligence and machine learning, it's like I'm actually running advertisements for a school, so it's just right at the top of my head. So what you're doing is you have all these apps on your phone, and Google's advertising network and Facebook's network, they've kind of tied up with almost all of them, whichever popular ads are there, so that it's kind of a duopoly in those terms. Of course, there are others, but yeah. So if I'm looking to target a junior KG's, my target is that I need to get 100 admissions done for a junior KG batch from 2023 to yeah. So what I would do is you would do a cross platform advertisement.
Okay.
Not just stick to Facebook or anything.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very important because they might see your ad on Facebook, but they might end up closing somewhere else.
Okay.
Okay, they might end up landing on your landing page somewhere else. And that sort of information and data we don't have. You cannot predict. Earlier, when we were running manual campaigns, especially in the initial years when I came into digital marketing, you used to run manual campaigns deciding on which hours of the day you want to run it for, where you want to put the bid strategies higher. Like I have 1,000 rupees right now per day, supposedly. So I'd be like, it's 1,000 divided by 24. This is the number of hours in a day. I would think, oh, that might be a little spreading my budget thin. So let me focus on 8 hours where people are working if I'm selling a software. But now things have changed with artificial intelligence, with machine learning, with Google and Facebook keeping all your data repositories. What you can do is you can reach out to at the right time. They know for an individual.
Okay.
Yeah, they know when Jatin is most likely to convert.
Oh.
When Amar is most likely to convert, when anyone specifically is most likely to convert. And that's where the bidding system works a little higher. And yeah, so there's a lot of automation that's going into it as well.
Okay.
So now it's not about guesswork. Now it's not about targeting a crowd. When it comes to advertisements, you're targeting individuals.
Okay.
And you're trying to get results, and we've done really well in that. But again, people make that mistake of just going automated. You have to have the human element as well as the artificial intelligence, and that creates wonders.
Yes.
So you cannot, when it comes to advertisements, we spoke a lot about the organic side of things, but when it comes to advertisements, you have to go on multiple channels. What you have to do is, you have to check the ROIs.
Right.
Like if I'm spending 4,000 on Facebook on a daily budget and 6,000 on Instagram and another 15,000 on Google, then you can't look at it. Yeah, of course, you have to look at it individually also for different analysis, but you have to look at it in terms of what is bringing you, at what cost are you, what is your cost per acquisition, CPA.
Okay.
And if it is good, stick with it.
Okay.
I would highly advise that, because there might be a lot of people who might enter enter your marketing funnel or advertising funnel on Facebook or on Google or on a third-party app.
Okay.
And maybe a ClickBuzz or something. Yeah, someone's watching cricket and somebody remembered, oh, I saw this belt on Amazon that I wanted to buy the other day. Goes from there to this. So you don't, but you might think after looking at the data saying, oh, ClickBuzz is not converting anything, but they are the ones who are starting the journey. So that's like really interesting with artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now with ChatGPT also coming on, but that's what the power of AI is. But you have to use it in a very skilled manner, in a very measured way, and that's how you can do things well.
Okay.
You have to reach the right people. It helps you reach the right people. Then of course after that it's your designs, it's your copies that convert someone from like I told you, the objective should always be the next step. When you're writing an email, pro tip, writing an email, you write the subject line so that someone clicks. Then you write the first line so that the second line is read.
Okay.
If you try to put the entire package into something, I've seen that not working. In my A/B testing, I might be wrong.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So, like talking about personal brand, right?
Yeah.
Right now, there are a lot of people who want to build their own brand,
Yes.
And like in the design industry, I'm experiencing that many designers are creating their personal brand through social media, right?
Right.
What is kind of an experience you have when you built a brand for a company, something like that, and when it comes to your own marketing agency, right? So
Right.
what was the difference when you were designing it for your own marketing agency and for the big company? Of course, there are going to be different values for their company and for your company,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But in 2 words, how can you explain what is the huge difference between these two categories?
It is kind of huge, but what you can do to like we've learned this the hard way. Try to treat your company also like a client.
Mm.
Then the whole thing comes up. Then there are no lapses. And the team also takes it very seriously because it's a client. We have to deliver certain things. Else, what happens is you have a KPI for something to be delivered for your brand by Friday, and if you suddenly get a KPI from a client that needs to be urgently delivered by Friday, that
You skip the point.
that just takes priority, and this just gets ignored. So if you treat yourself as a brand, things get treat yourself as a client, things get a lot easier, in my opinion. Like that's the only way you can try to, and personal branding is very different. Personal branding is again depends on who you are looking to entice. So if you are into B2B, if you are selling a software, SaaS, or even for me in the marketing industry arena, you might want to explore LinkedIn a lot more than Instagram or maybe a Facebook, or even a Twitter can you also go up and down. So that depends. But again, it's not always about closing deals. It's not about getting clients, because that's the bottom line. That's the end part of your sales funnel. You have to start at the top. You have to make sure that you're creating content on LinkedIn saying that you're into design right now. Right? So you give out tips. You show your expertise. I'm here on a podcast right now. What I'm trying to do is I'm telling you that I'm trying to convince you that I'm into digital marketing and I'm an expert in that field.
Right.
And that's am I going to get customers out immediately? No, but it kind of helps with the whole thing. Like if somebody sees it, I can use that in a marketing material, so something like that. You don't have to directly go at the end. You're just trying to go. That's a lot of small companies make that mistake. They directly go at the end. They try to just close the deal right away. And if someone is on the upper side of the funnel, they just ignore them. They just think that maybe that's just too much effort to convert that guy into a sale. But if you do that in the long run, that pays off dividends. So personal branding is very important to do.
So I'll explain myself. So as a product designer, we were in 2000 something like that, 2005. Around that, product designers were building products. They were sketching maybe the mic, right? They're making it in paper. They're sketching with their pen and all that, right? But now it has turned into digital. Everything is digitalizing itself, I might say this. But in your industry, what do you think the effect was? Of course, in the 2016, you won't be seeing many digital marketing agencies, but now in 2023 you see a lot of digital marketing agency. And what do you think has changed from 2016 to now, and what all aspects of digitalizing your industry has helped you?
So one of the best things I like about digital marketing is that it changes all the time. Google changes all the time, Facebook changes all the time, and their algorithms keep changing all the time. Like I was just talking to you about how we can use AI and ML to target specific customers, but now there are privacy policies that are going to take place, and a lot of that is going to get restricted. But the marketers have to pivot accordingly, and you have to ensure, because this was a golden era. A lot of guys missed out already, and now there's going to be regulations. So those things keep changing. Right, and when it comes to India specific, 2016, before 2016, you didn't see a lot of companies online. A lot of these small guys, I'm not talking about the big companies and all, like the small guys, you go to a kirana shop or something, now they're online.
Yeah, they're using Swiggy, I think.
They're using Google Maps first
Okay.
of all
Yeah,
to
yeah.
identify where they are.
Right.
They are using scanner codes for payments.
Yes, UPI.
UPIs. This has all changed in the last 7-8 years.
Yes.
Imagine going to a kirana store in 2014 and going to a shop right now.
Yes.
It has all changed in that perspective.
Okay.
So digitization is coming, and it is going to keep coming. So in 2016 we had this major revolution with Geo coming in, and data became more accessible, and so there are a lot of YouTubers who were doing really well before, and after the revenue just skyrocketed because they could just see more views on that.
Right.
Okay. Secondly, because of COVID, a lot of people got forced into it. A lot of companies got forced into having a website, having an e-commerce store, and those kind of things. So, yeah, things are going to keep changing. You have to pivot accordingly. If people are going to be too stubborn about things, then I'm afraid that's going to put them out of business. And digitization is coming. So, but how you can utilize that with your core business values, because in digital marketing also, I always in the first few interactions that we have with a client or a potential client, I don't talk a lot about marketing. We talk a lot about them. What are you doing? Yeah, what is your product? How are you selling it? What is your target audience? What is your cost versus sale value? So you can understand them a lot better. Once you get into a relationship and understand each other a lot better, then you can find solutions.
Okay.
So technology has to come at a secondary stage.
Okay.
Yeah. First of all, you have to, for any businesses out there, you have to have your core values stuck. Like if you're selling hardware products, supposedly like power tools and those kind of things, you might think, why do I need a digital marketing? But India what's the name?
India Mart,
exactly. Sorry, India Mart has got a lot of these hardware guys, power tool guys, and a lot of these guys on their platform. They're creating websites. They're creating year-on-year revenue over and over again.
Right. So like I guess the same way Samsung is challenging Apple, right? So Samsung puts an ad in social media ki this is the thing we had 10 years back and we are running it right now also. But Apple comes ki okay, we developed this feature into our iOS, right?
Right.
But how do you think the brand values of Samsung are different to the features they built or the product they have, and Apple when it comes to their own brand values, right? But when you look at Apple, you look at their legacy, right?
Yes.
From where they were born, and now the legacy is a part of them, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to Samsung, I think the legacy it's not that linear, I would say. Then the growth is of course like the sales and all is of course great.
But pioneers in the industry.
But I think, what do you think about these two companies when it comes to marketing and when it comes to selling their products online and getting more?
Yeah. So first of all, I have a big bias towards Apple. So I think that might play a big part in this. But what I'm looking at is innovation at its core. Like when Steve Jobs came, I don't know how many people have seen the movie Jobs. No, Steve Jobs, the Michael Fassbender one. So they had this advertisement they ran in 1984, I believe. I could be wrong, so please don't hold me to that. But they had an advertisement which got the most views. And it didn't even show anything about the products, the computers or anything.
I think it's like Nike. Nike has something that we don't sell it to all the people who have succeed in life, but we sell our product to someone who is try harder, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like in terms of marketing, it's about selling experiences. It's about talking about the experiences. So they have different campaigns at different stages of their of their evolution and stuff like that. Okay, like let me give you an example. When they what does Apple do when they come up with a new product nowadays? They just announce it. They just announce a date and people have queued up before the launch date. And why is that happening? Because people want to get their hands on it. And why are they doing that? Because they are coming up consistently with products that are solving your day-to-day life. Underneath all of that, you need to look at this.
Yes.
Because they came up with the wireless earphones. The
Yes.
AirPods.
AirPods.
Yeah, nobody came up with it before.
Yes.
It's so
Definitely.
simple, so elegant. Just cut off the wires.
Yes.
But you didn't think of that. Bluetooth came a long time back, but nobody still bridged that gap.
Smartwatch also, I guess.
Smartwatch, yeah. I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah, I see a lot of people who are using it and find it valuable and stuff. But that's what I'm talking about. So it goes hand in hand. If you produce great products, the marketing helps. The
Right.
marketing creates it builds up the product. It helps you sell more. It helps you communicate your message to a wider audience. But when you don't have a good product, this is what happens a lot of times. Someone just thinks that with a good marketing campaign, we can just change the narrative.
Right.
Or anything. I understand that there are rarely any monopolies or duopolies left anymore in any sector.
Yeah.
So,
Agree.
but you have to stand out in terms of your product also, and then the marketing takes over, and then your innovation in marketing helps spread the word more. Like
Right.
people understand what is hyped and what is not.
Not. Yes.
Like they understand this product is getting hyped a lot, but I wouldn't buy it. Honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, like a private jet. Supposedly. It's a desire.
Yeah, it's a desire.
Yeah, so that's what they are trying to sell, like Rolls Royce.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
one
different-
of the things that I just recently came today, I don't know, I have not factually checked this, so maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Rolls Royce has this marketing technique where if they compete with other cars, if they show their cars with others, everyone is going to talk about the pricing. Like, oh
Yes.
God, why is it that expensive? Even the luxurious brands.
Yes.
So they put their cars against private jets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think they produce engines for private jets. That is also
they
a
do.
reason.
Engines are pretty innovative.
Yeah,
That could also be. Yeah, that is also one of the reasons.
So it's like they are saying someone that you can fly with that car, something a value like that. I would say.
Subconsciously, they're trying to. They obviously not come out and said, "Oh, this is the right way," or that.
Yes.
But what they're trying, like, instead of like private jet costs this much, so this doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
It's all about perceptions. It's all about, like, earlier for a laptop, 40,000 or 50,000 would have been like, oh God, I'm spending so much, but I better get the best quality of a Sony Y or an HP.
Right.
Or people are spending about 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs to get a laptop.
Yes.
So-
yes. Yeah, and one more brand I would love to be here is Volvo.
Yeah.
So how they have their crazy videos or advertisement that their CEO stands on a truck and it is hooked to a helicopter, and they sell it in a way that okay, it won't break and I'm standing on it. It's so hyped, and it so tells the customer that okay, you should believe in us. And it's all about safety, right? When you buy an Volvo car,
Always all about safety.
it's all about safety.
That's what you're communicating.
Yeah, and every time this guy goes with something crazy in his advertisement. Same with Land Rover,
Same with Tesla.
Oh, Tesla, yeah. In Range Rover also, what they do is they had this ad where they climbed a mountain with Range Rover.
Nah, yeah, exactly.
And there were steps on it, and it was climbing in a vertical of maybe 60 degree. And
60 degrees.
it was a huge climb.
Nice.
And I saw that, and I was just boomed with that idea, right?
I'm curious about this too.
But how do you think they come up with this mental strategies or marketing advertisement, which is like let's say you are working in Volvo, and I
Right.
tell you that okay, this hook can be so hard that it can hold a truck to an helicopter. So how do you plan the advertising of that company or of that product, single product?
Yeah, so you have to understand what your strengths are in terms of the product, as well as what you bring onto your personal branding as well. Like,
Okay.
let's take Tesla for example. Like I'm with Tesla, they launched their first car, which was Roadster. After Elon Musk
Okay.
took over as a CEO, Roadster was the first car, and they sold it for $100,000.
Okay.
Okay, they never delivered the car, but they took advanced bookings. They took the money and
What?
everything. Yeah.
But the people then to trust Tesla after
Yeah,
that.
but they delivered Model S. Yeah, so it was a big this thing also. But it was because of Elon Musk. He gathered that funding. Like if you go around today, and if you tell anyone in the office or you go any place, you create any sort of build, hype, charity events, anything, and you ask people, I'm selling a car for 100,000, which is about to launch. We have not launched it yet. I'm just going to use that money and to build that car. I'm going to deliver it to you. Of course, he didn't tell that exactly, but that's how what the underlying communication was. But to believe in Elon Musk, they just went ahead with it. That you have to understand what your strengths are as brand. Is it the CEO who's so popular?
Yes.
Or is it the product?
Yeah.
Is it?
I guess connecting the person with the product.
Yeah, you have to understand what your. So I've been reading this really amazing book called The Unfair Advantage.
Okay.
So it says that everyone has an unfair advantage. Okay, like me, I was in the right place at the right time when I started the company. Before that, I was in the right place at the right time when I got introduced to and exposed to digital marketing very early in my career.
Right.
Someone else has some other, like Ivan Spielberg, the CEO of Snapchat.
Okay.
He grew up in a very wealthy family and he had access to a lot of these advantages. So he was always innovative. Bill Gates. Similarly, right? So you have to take your unfair advantage and you have to run with it. But first of all, you need to identify it. You need to identify what your unfair advantage is as a brand, as a person, as anything. So Tesla. So why doesn't Mercedes use the same strategies as a Tesla? Who's the CEO of Mercedes? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
I have no idea. That's the thing. So Tesla uses Elon Musk as its brand ambassador. Somebody else uses somebody else as a brand ambassador. So that's how it pursues. Like they are using that, which is unique across spectrum.
Yeah. I saw once an ad where I guess Audi's CEO he left the office. He got a retirement and he was sent in a BMW. And so that ad was for BMW. So the car went to the CEO's house. He was taken with that car and it said thank you for that guy and BMW. So the ad was about Audi CEO, but he was delivered in a BMW at his house. So like it's like totally it's totally different when you see someone coming with this creative ideas, right? And I think that is important when you build a marketing agency also.
Yeah.
And I think making lot of ideations when you are in the phase of developing a product is also important.
Yes.
And I'm a lot sure that your company does that too.
Yeah.
And I would like to have one example where how did you serve, like one extreme example where you served a client with your best results and what the growth went on and all that. Maybe
in terms of design.
In terms of design or maybe marketing, it's fine. Like I just want to I want to hear or I want to see how you captured the perception ki okay 30 clients la sakte hai ek din mein and you delivered 40 clients.
Yeah.
40 customers.
Yeah. So I'll take this example of this school only that we have been currently a part of. So this school has, the chairmen and those kind of people are really old guys.
Okay.
So they believe in the traditional way of doing things.
Okay.
Till date, the principal looks at the newspaper that gets delivered to her and she's happy if they see a front page ad of their school.
Oh.
She's very happy with that.
Okay.
Doesn't bring her any leads or anything, but she's just happy to just see it.
Okay.
Yeah. So COVID happens. Obviously, they cannot deliver in newspapers. TV ads are very expensive, so they can't go there. So we pitch them. Let's go digital. And they're like, we are very skeptical that we are not going to do well in digital and stuff like that. And we ask them for a quarter. 3 months, give us 3 months. 3 months time, and if that does not, if we don't get you the same amount of sales, I won't badger you again.
Right.
And I don't know. Funnily, I think it was a lot out of desperation. Like I just told you earlier as well, many businesses were forced to go digital. So this was one of them.
Okay.
So just told us, okay, let's take 3 months. And why not? Because everyone believed that in 3 months the whole crisis will get over, the pandemic will get over. So we started off again using the same tactics that I was just talking to you about. Like rather than going after a group of people, we started going for individuals.
Yes.
That's what a newspaper does. They go after a group. If you're advertising on a Sunday Times, that's people who are reading newspaper on Sunday and these other deliveries that go through.
Okay.
And that's how the similarly goes for TV ads as well. TV ads is like really expensive, man. And when TV ads are being shown, the only thing that you can do is have a one-way communication.
Okay, but I guess TV is like, it's like broken right now because a lot of people see Netflix and Amazon Prime.
True, but that's your generation. The other ones are still watching news channels and those kind of things in prime time. But anyway, like even if that's true, what I'm seeing is they're communicating on a one-way thing. This is the best mic in the industry. Buy it. How? Where?
Okay.
So now they've started coming up saying, "Oh, Google us." You must have seen a lot of TV ads saying Google us or go to our website and stuff like that. They're still trying to convert them there, but the brands are not understanding why do you need the TV ad then? Yeah. Right. So why do you need it? It's a one-way communication. Even with newspapers, even with radio, you're just communicating. Nobody can communicate back. With digital, it's I ran a campaign on Facebook for them. I ran a campaign on Facebook and Instagram for them for specific audiences. I believe we were targeting again a senior KG or first standard only. So I believe that there were a lot of young adults of my age, and we would hang out a lot. And the daily active users also spiked really high because of COVID. Everyone was in home, and we got them the results. I had initially promised them 30 leads that we could get. 90% of them qualified, so 27 qualified leads. We delivered 60 in the first month, and then since then we have been with them. It's been 3.5 years.
Right.
So that's the one thing that happened. But yeah, when it comes to like people can comment what is the fees, what is the structure and stuff like that.
Yes.
So you have that two-way communication going.
Yes.
People know it's an ad, but people are interested in that ad.
Right.
That's how you have to think. And there are a lot of people who might think that advertisements I'm not interested. But if you're looking to buy sandals and somebody just posts an ad about sandals and shows it to you, and they are in your price range and they are serving the purpose that you're looking for.
Yes.
Wow, it's just that amazing experience. You just go and end up buying.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
just serving the right people with the right ad at the right time and with the right design and the marketing solution.
Yes, definitely. So coming to the end, I guess this is it today for you guys. Do you guys have any feedback or any recommendation? You can type in any comment down below. It was great speaking to you, Amar,
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, I hope we see you ahead with us for a next podcast.
Looking
I think.
forward.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.